Good morning and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to do some updates on trees that I've worked on recently to see the progress and how they're doing. And what I'm about to show you is a tree that I worked on lately that I aborted in the middle of doing it because they just were not steady enough in the pot to wire them the way I wanted to. So let's take a look. So this is my Cotoneaster, my windswept design idea. I was going to bring this branch over, but the amount of torque that I had to put on this to get it to bend really proved that it was not sturdy enough in the pot. So I aborted the effort. There were some branches I wanted to trim, which I'll trim now. This one, these two actually. This one going straight up. This one I want to train down as well, but I couldn't exert the pressure. There are some upward growing ones along here. Oh no, what did I just do? That was a big mistake. Okay, for those of you who are watching, don't do that. But there's a branch growing here. There's one growing right on top of this. So why don't I just simplify things and take it off entirely? It makes it urgent to bring this branch down and around, but that's going to have to be at a later date. Okay, the design will not suffer if I can bring this down and around. It's getting too long. I did see something here. If I want this to cascade more, if this is going to be two trees in one pot, it would be nice if one cascaded, wouldn't it? This is heading down. I'm not true to the windswept design then. Well, whatever. Got to put a lot of torque on this one for the windswept design. I don't need this branch, do I? Where do I cut it? Got something growing in that direction. It's a healthy branch. If I can redirect the health to there, maybe I don't try to torque all that over and just move this in that direction. That would be certainly easier. Sorry for the noise. It's a weekday. This is nicely going down, isn't it? But I think I want to encourage more straight growth. So I'm going to take the downward one off. Being real careful to only cut what I want to cut. All right, so that's it for my Cotoneaster update. These stones are just here holding them in place. They're still jiggly. I put fines in between to try and make it better. It didn't make it worse, but I can't say that it made it better. Next tree. Next up is my little grape. Every place I pruned, something new grew. Directions, let's make some changes. I want this to fill the middle. So it's got something growing straight up here. So I'm going to take it off there. I'm going to knock this one back, leaving only the one leaf It's got some growth down here, but I want to see if I can encourage something to grow from there. I'm going to take this branch right off. Encourage that lower growth. And I think it pretties up the trunk a little bit. So then this one, this back branch, needs to come to here. Got some outward growth here that I'll encourage by cutting it there. And I'll take this down to here. Let me take that off entirely. Okay. So here is my little mame grapevine. Let's see. Is that working for me? No, that's not working for me. Everything else is working. I could take some older leaves off. I'm just going to take this one off. And this one off. Very nice. Next up is this elm that I chopped. I continue to have the problem of it rolling out and over. See how it's pulling away from the wood inside and leaving a gap? I think I'm going to have to nibble that away over the years, but right now I want to see what happens. This needs to certainly thicken up right here. And I believe it will. All right, let me zoom out and let's talk about structure. Just so you can see how long these extensions have grown. Got to get this tree under control again and get a shape going. So this elm wants to do some interesting things. It wants to grow straight up. It wants me to pick a leader here and just let it keep growing, and I would cut the bottom branches off, but that's not what I want to do. That's what it wants to do. What I want to do, aside from repot, get into bonsai soil, tidy up, what I want to do is get a shape going. And I want the tree to give me that shape. I do see a shape emerging from this branch right here. So there would be a chop right there, which would mean this branch and this branch are the only branches on the tree. But that would sure give me a shape and the rest of the summer to harden off and become secondary branching. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll look at it. Wow. Okay, so we have some shape. We've got a branch coming forward. We've got a branch going out. If I cut this here, no. Pretty sure I've got a bud there. Start growing in this direction. would like another branch to begin growing here. I'm cutting softwood. I'm going to leave plenty for dieback. This is dead. This is where my ideal leaf cut is, but I wish it was up here. It's not. This is fine. Leaving a lot for dieback. Here's an outward facing leaf. And here's an outward facing leaf. Did I give my tree some initial shape? Yeah, I think I did. Something could be said for cutting it off here, couldn't it? But do I have that in me to do? I don't. Here it comes forward. This may be the future front. Should I cut that off? Something tells me to cut that off. All right, if not now, when? All right, future shape. In a noisy yard. Next tree. Next up is my large-leafed Ginkgo biloba, which I pruned pretty heavily not too long ago. And I've got some good options for the future here. This leaf is damaged. I'm just going to take it right off. This leaf is too large. I'm going to take it off in favor of the little ones below it. This leaf is too large. There's a lot coming out from this spot, but I want to encourage a branch to develop there. If a branch can't develop there, or maybe I don't want a branch to develop there. I don't. Off it comes. Now, I've got some choices. Got a pruning stub up here I can take back a little. I think I'm going to take this whole top off. This would be a good place for a branch to grow, I think. Maybe something will develop from that bud down there now that I've taken the foliage off. There is a bud right in the middle of that. I'm going to simplify this gaggle here a bit. Why don't I just take off all the green and the dark green and allow all the light green to flourish? Good idea, Steve. Should I do it here as well? Why not? I think those have enough energy to really become something. And that's got my Ginkgo biloba pruned up. If that's the front, this crosses. I'm going to take that off. All right. Grow on, grow on. Next tree. Next up is Central Park. I just want to show you the foliage of the trees, what is growing. This branch is extending here. That's quite nice. This branch is extending here. I love it. This branch is coming down and extending at the top, and this branch also is extending, as is this one. I like that all. At the top, I'll take this stub down just a little more. I'm going to let that extend. I'm going to let this extend. I'm going to let these both lignify, and then I'm going to prune them back. It's growing toward the inside a little bit, and it's growing toward this tree a little bit. I'm not sure if this is the branch I'm going to be able to rely upon to fill this void. I'm not sure. This may end up being the one. All right, moving on to the next tree, which is this one. I can easily get my hands through, which is nice. Same thing, I might take this branch down. It is starting to change color. This would go to here. The ones at the top are too green. I don't think I want to prune them back. I will take the pruning stub back a little bit more. Okay. Next tree is this one purported to be root over rock. Very happy with the growth on this tree. I'll take a pruning stub down here. This one I will prune back when it starts to lignify. I like this branch. There's a branch coming down here, so this above it becomes useless. And I'd like to take this to here. This is too green. This has begun to lignify down lower. It's going up toward the center of the tree every way you look at it, but it does have a branch coming off there. Still toward the center, but it's a little better. And there's a crossing branch here. I'm reluctant to take it off because it turns and fills a void. Just shorten a pruning stub there. Shorten a pruning stub there. And I think I'm going to shorten this. Pruning stub. Here's an example of where it is bifurcating. Definitely want to encourage that. Moving on to the next tree. This one. This one does have some interference with the tree next to it. Maybe I should start on that tree. No, the offending tree is this outward one. And one of the most offending branches is right here. Which I just removed. Now it's a separate tree every way you look at it. Is there anything I want to change now? This branch, it's coming outside the profile a little bit. Maybe would want to change direction in that direction. So I'm going to take the real green part off of that. Go up a little higher. What I really want to point out is the advice that I had gotten from Bonsai Science, from Candace, on how to prune Chinese elm for little leaves is about the best advice I could have ever gotten. So, bravo, Candace. Those of you who don't know her should know her. She's got a great catalog of very informative advice. You got something crossing here. I think I'm going to get rid of this whole branch. Maybe cut it short. This has begun to lignify down lower. So I think I'm going to take this one off to here, and I can see a nice bud there. Okay, the next tree I want to tackle is this one. It's not the last tree, but it's the furthest out tree. There are two internal ones that I haven't looked at yet. I like this right here, just the way it is. Maybe I don't like this piece so much. I like that. Cutting the tips off of these. The tiny leaves are spectacular. On a sunny day, this looks just like a walk in the park. Okay, this little tiny tree, we looked at it, right? Now, internal. I think I can take this back. So a little branch going off there. That I'm going to leave this. This is going to be the secondary apex of the whole park. Yeah, there's still some green growth on this that needs to be cut back, but overall the canopy on this park setting is looking really, really good.